Guess what time it is? It's business planning time. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today I want to talk to you about business planning because it is the season, baby. I just had a great meeting with all of your leaders and we were talking about business plans, and we thought, you know what, rather than digging super into the weeds, let's come up with 5, 10, 15 key strategies that we might be able to utilize to make our 2020 business plans the best business plans we've ever done, and therefore your best year ever. As I mentioned, I'm not going to get super into the weeds because at this point, either you've already done a business plan and we already know that it's really about math, coming up with the goals, extrapolating out how many appointments, how many phone calls, etc. And then we get to talk about the marketing, right? Because then it's about where are we going to generate the leads. And then, of course, it's the model, which is how are we going to best process out how we convert those leads, right? So if you haven't ever done a business plan before, we have the business plan and we have the expertise to help you go through the business plan. I'm just not going to do it right here. But what I am going to do is give you, I wrote down 10 items, and number one on my list, and maybe before I even start with it, because it kind of leads into it, we've all heard the saying, you know, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Right? It's that everybody wants the job, but nobody wants to write the check. What I am really talking about here in my number one is approach it like the entrepreneur that you are. Listen, folks, 28 million small businesses in the United States. Less than half of them are making $1 of profit. You are in rare air, as they say, if you're turning revenue that's in excess of what your expenses are. Think about that for a minute. There are 14 million business owners that are going to work every single day and not earning a profit. Ouch. 87% of the agents that get their license don't make it into their third year of the business. You've got to really step up and be exceptional if you're going to be successful in this business. So be the entrepreneur, act like a business owner, and successful business owners plan for success, right? Or they fail to plan. Follow me? Okay. Number two, goals. Goals are not just professional. They're both professional and personal. So make sure that when you put your goals together, that you've got professional goals as well as personal goals, and maybe in the opposite order. You follow me? Because the reality is we don't work just to work. We work so that we can have an amazing life, and that's the whole point. I would also encourage you to put them up in visual. You're just going to have to trust me on this. Having maybe it's not a vision board. I know some of you really love that. It may just literally be, here's my GCI number or closed number of units number or appointments number, whatever it is that connects with you, right? And here's the weight I want to be, the car I want to have, the house I want to have. It doesn't really matter as long as it means what it means to you, and you have to see it every single day. Number three, action plan. Now, action plan, of course, an action plan, but here's the key. The action plan has to start December 1st. That's right, I said December 1st. So I might actually have you say, hey, listen, here's my action plan for 2020, but I've got a little turbo action plan that's going to start on November 15th, 20th, December 1st, whichever, so that I have 30 to 45 days of action that's going to build momentum. Here's what I want you to think of. Think about what happens on January 1st. I used to be in the health club business. We would sell a gazillion memberships in January. And oftentimes what would happen is they would come in, they'd be so excited, they would sign up for their membership on January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They'd come maybe 2 or 3 times the following week, but they were so sore, right? And, you know, they were working on their schedule, and one thing led to another, and by the time March got there, they were completely out. We never saw them again. Don't be that person. While everybody is worrying about which gym they're going to join, I want you to be in momentum. You follow me? Like, the soreness is over. You are in momentum. It is part of your daily or weekly routine. and you are cooking, and you're going to crush your first quarter. Number 4, your schedule. It has to deliver the life that you want. It has to deliver the life that you want. So here's a great way of working with your schedule. So the rest of the year, there's some crazy stuff going on, right? We've got Halloween, we've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas parties, we've got Christmas, we've got New Year's. There's a bunch of wonderful things that are going on over the next 60 days, and we want to enjoy them, right? Schedule that time off. Work backwards in your schedule so that you can enjoy the time, no guilt. Enjoy the recharge, no guilt. Enjoy your family, no guilt. And then back into the time that's remaining so that you can actually do the high value things, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute, during that period of time. That will also bleed over into 2020, and it's going to help you with your time blocking. Another video and probably another coaching moment, but for the remainder of this year, fourth quarter 2019, make sure that you schedule your personal time now back into the rest so that you can have that incredible life that you want. Number 5, as I alluded to, what's your hourly rate? Here's the bottom line, y'all. Like, there are things that make a lot of money and there are things that don't make a lot of money. And a lot of times, those things that don't make a lot of money distract us from doing the things that make us a lot of money. So if you want to figure out what your hourly rate is, we can do the math. I'm going to help you out. Ready? So the average, just kind of ballpark, the average real estate agent is going to work something between 1,500 and 2,000 hours during a 12-month period. All right, 1,500 to 2,000 hours. That includes a couple of days off. It includes some vacation. That includes Christmas, that kind of thing. And without getting too into it, 1,500 to 2,000, you figure out which one is yours. Then you got to figure out, well, how much money am I going to make, right? So if you want to make a couple $100,000, $250,000 a year, after you figure out how much it costs you to operate your business, you've got costs, right? You've got rent, and you've got cell phone, and you've got car, and you've got marketing, and you've got dues and subscriptions and MLS and all of these things. Once you figure out what all of those costs are, to make $250,000 a year, you need to be in excess of $200 per hour. So let me ask you a question. What work is your $200 an hour or greater work? We call it the money time, but it is the most important time to your business. You know, we've all heard Jeff Mays and Tom Ferry and Mike Ferry and Buffini, and like every single person out there talks about $1,000 an hour time. Quite literally, if you skip your prospecting time, your appointment time, your marketing time, your negotiation time, if you skip those times, you quite literally are walking away from thousands of dollars. That's how important it is. So make sure that you put it on your schedule and you protect it at all costs, and you let everybody in your life know this time is 100% protected. Number 6 on the list is lead generation. All right, hardcore conversation. Ready? Stop looking for the silver bullet. There is no secret sauce. There is no silver bullet. If there is a secret sauce or silver bullet, it's quite simply, you got to do the work, right? Everybody wants all the leads. Nobody wants to do the work, right? You're either going to pay for them out of your check. You're going to pay for them in person. I would argue that there really is no way to buy your way out of it. The only thing you possibly do is convince somebody else by paying them to do the lead prospecting and conversion. But you're going to need to figure out what that is for you. I think in 2020, the key is going to be identifying what worked for you in 2019 and then how you can scale it. I think that's the big key. I don't care how you feel about Realtor.com or Zillow or any of the other deals, but they're not disrupting the market. Okay, we had this great conversation, and I know for those of you that watch Jeff Mays, you heard this too, right? The first franchise that entered the market, which certainly was a disruptor of sorts, was Century 21 back in 1971. The second franchise was Help You Sell, which is a discount brokerage. They also were a quote-unquote disruptor, but to say 40 years later that they are still a disruptor would not be true. However, we are seeing a lot of those discount type brokerages entering the market right now, and it's more a matter of the economy, but they pop their head up on cycles, right? So there is no silver bullet. You're going to have to do the work, figure out what it is. Let's scale it. Number 7, what's your learning plan? I want you to look at your action plan, and now that you've got a plan and a goal, and you know exactly what areas you're going to need to scale up, and maybe you've identified some areas maybe that you were lacking, identify what skills you think that you might be missing, and let's develop a plan about it, right? Is it Coldwell Banker University? Is it the Summit? Is it Gen Blue? Is it coaching? Is it AMP? Is it Outlast? Is it SOI and Lead Gen? There's so many different available resources to you to help develop the right skills. Here's what I know, and I know you guys have seen that video. Confidence comes from your competence. And in order to do that, you need to practice, practice, practice. Bottom line, perfect example, those people that don't, for example, call expireds, typically speaking, the reason they don't call expireds is because they don't have a compelling listing presentation. Say that again. The reason most people don't make phone calls to expires is because they themselves don't believe in their value proposition and their listing presentation. If they did, you couldn't stop them from knocking on doors and making phone calls, etc. It's the confidence that's established through doing it over and over and over. So make sure that you are developing the right skills so that you can have the confidence to achieve what your plan is and therefore your goals. All right, number 8, online edit. Ed, your marketing manager, is going to be coming out with a great class, probably the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next, where he's really going to take you through step by step. But here's what I would tell you. Handle the low-hanging fruit. Go onto the profiles that you have right now. I'm talking LinkedIn, I'm talking Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and your websites and Realtor and Zillow, and check to see what your profile shows up as, right? And do me a favor, check this on both your phone, iPad, as well as a computer. Here's what I know. Many folks have the wrong logo or they lack the consistency. You want consistency in the logo, right? North Star logo could be a great opportunity for you to do that. Also, your bio. Your bio needs to have consistency. Your photos, they need to look like you and they need to be consistent across the platforms. I would recommend using a skin for your lead photo. Make sure you have your logo in there so when people see the logo, they immediately know that you're Coldwell Banker. By the way, that will help a ton with networking for referral business. A ton. Trust me on that one. So doing a deep dive in your online profile and how you're appearing. That audit will be great. Number 9 on the list is events. Make sure that you chart out, get with your OM, get with your MD. Make sure that you know where and when and what the distinctive client giveaway is going to be, when your distinctive client appreciation event is going to be, and get them on your schedule because you're going to want to integrate those into your marketing plan, your touch plan for 2020 so that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. I'm going to tell you right now, it's quite literally going to save you somewhere between 60 and 80 hours. I promise you this. And it's going to give you the ability to connect with people at a significantly higher level. And that will 100% turn into business. That's what you really want to do, is leverage, leverage, leverage. And then number 10, plan the recharge. I watch this over and over and over. Far too many real estate agents, they get into the business because of the flexibility, the promise that I can be in control of my schedule. This is going to be wonderful. I can work it around kids' schedule and football and spouses and whatever, right? And the reality is that it's very, very easy to succumb to the jump, how high, I'm here for you, that urgency mindset. This is probably not going to go over really well. But here's the thing. We are not saving lives. There is nothing that we do that really falls under the category of urgent. No one is going to lose their life if we don't respond. We have the ability to control our schedules. And you have a partner in Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties and Prime Properties that is committed to being an amazing partner and help you from a leverage perspective so that you can have more time and control of your schedule. But ultimately, you have to take control. There are people, and you know exactly who they are, who are the busiest people in the room. They continue to add more and more and more and more, and they become unhappy and unhealthy. And the people around them are often, I don't want to say abused, but that's the word that came to my mind. They're just not treated well. And these people are, generally speaking, really, really highly successful, but only in business, right? So they don't have the life that we're talking about. So I'm gonna implore you in 2020 to really schedule out your time off. We talked about that, I think it was 2 or 3, but schedule your recharge time. Shannon and I have done a deal where every other week we take 1 full day and it's just recharge time so that we can show up for each other, for our leaders, for you agents, for our community, for our kids, the way we want to show up, the way we're committed to being there, right? So for you, I want you to plan your recharge. I don't care if that's just 15, 30 minutes in a bathtub. I don't care if that's just 10 minutes in the car listening to whatever music, or if it's an entire day where you really get out of normal life and you just recharge yourself so that you can show up the way you want to. Listen, folks, I hope this helped you. There's 10 very specific strategies to help you make the best out of your business plan and have the absolute best year you've ever had in business and life for 2020. And if there's anything that I can do or any of our managers can do, please reach out. We want to help. And as always, be distinctive.